So as someone with a stoma, I forget that I've actually got an IBD, which is called ulcerative colitis. Now, I suffered with ulcerative colitis for about 5 or 6 years, I'd say, but I first started showing symptoms when I was like 14. So I'd say from the first symptoms to when I got my stoma surgery, it's probably 15 years of symptoms. The last 5 or 6 years were pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. But if I knew the symptoms that I should look out for, I might have gotten diagnosed a little bit quicker. So I thought I'd tell you a little story of when I first started experiencing symptoms of ulcerative colitis, all the way up to stoma surgery. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tommy from Stoma Adventures. I like talking about IBDs and stomas, and I feel like I've got quite a bit of experience in both now, so I thought I'd make some silly little videos about them. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hype, it helps new creators like me. So, symptoms started when I was 14, and the first symptom was blood in my stool. So blood in your poop is a massive symptom of ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. It can also mean other things, so make sure you get it checked out regardless. But when I went to the doctors, they basically just said I had hemorrhoids, didn't have an endoscopy or a colonoscopy or anything, and they told me to just go home and not strain on the toilet, which is, not very helpful. But in their defense, it actually worked, and I probably lasted another 10 to 12 years with no other symptoms. But when I started getting my symptoms, they hit me pretty hard. And I'll come to symptom number 2, urgency. And the urgency means diarrhea, and a lot of it, and all the time. And what that means is, as you'll probably know if you're watching this video, is it means you really need to poop and you feel like you're probably not going to make it to the toilet. Now, that happens to people if they eat the wrong type of food or if they're a little bit sick. But for it to happen many times in one day, and for it to keep on happening every day, it's normally a sign something's not right. The problem with that as well is you're losing a lot of nutrients and you're very dehydrated because you're passing so much water and stuff through your poop. The next symptom hit me, but not as hard as it does hit some people, which is pain. I did get some discomfort in my abdomen and a little bit of pain, mostly when I needed to use the toilet, but a lot of people with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's will experience quite bad stomach pains. Now, I can't tell you really about from my own experience because it's not something I experienced massively, thank God, but if you do have stomach pains and these other symptoms, it's another indicator it could be that. So we're combining blood in the stool, which means you're probably anemic because you're passing a lot of blood, the urgency and frequency of using the toilet, and diarrhea, which means that you're losing a lot of nutrients, a lot of water. You're probably experiencing a lot of pain as well, which is very tiring. Also experiencing mouth ulcers as well, which is super uncomfortable. These combined add up to one massive symptom, which is fatigue and generally just feeling awful. So the worst of these symptoms really sort of came to a head when I was working in construction. I was working with renovating homes. I was working on building sites with no bathrooms, and there were quite a lot of missed days of work because I feel like I couldn't even get out of bed most days. Now, all these symptoms combined as well means that you can lose a lot of weight. Your appetite's not great because you're feeling unwell, and you're pooping a lot, which means that everything is just passing through you, so you do end up losing weight as well. Some other symptoms I had as well, which I should mention, is joint pain. There are actually quite a few crossovers from IBDs and arthritis because they are both inflammatory conditions. Some medications also cross over as well, which is quite interesting. So my experience with medication and stuff like that was quite a journey, so I'll probably do this on a separate video. I don't want to throw everything at you, but these symptoms were pretty solid from my mid-20s to my late 20s to my 30s before I went for my stoma surgery, which I think we all know how that ended. So if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, all I can say is go to the doctor and ask for an endoscopy or a colonoscopy. They might try and say it's hemorrhoids. They even diagnosed me with being vegetarian. That's why I was anemic, which was ridiculous. So you need to be your own advocate here, and you need to pester them and ask them to just do a simple test, which is an endoscopy or colonoscopy, and they should know within 5 or 10 minutes what is wrong if it is an IBD. So hopefully, if anyone is experiencing the same symptoms and they weren't sure why they were, this could be why. Obviously, these symptoms have crossovers with other problems as well. You always need to go and see your doctor about it, but if you do suspect it's an IBD, get an endoscopy or colonoscopy. Anyway, I'll stop yapping on. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hype. It helps new creators like me, and I'll see you in the next video.